All right, we are live. Let me set this up and look at myself, okay, because this is not like when I'm doing this in my studio where I have two screens, then I can have these two things coming together. But this one is very much on the phone. I have to monitor the whole thing on the phone. How are you guys? How's your weekend coming along so far? It's already the end of the weekend. And usually the moment we do this on the Sunday night, this is where you start feeling this Monday blue kicking in, right? So welcome in. This is Ask Me Anything Sunday night show. My name is Jason. If this is the first time we meet, nice to meet you. Idea here is very simple. I go live every Sunday night to answer your questions regarding Facebook advertising and digital marketing and even business development a little bit. Whatever I can cover, I do my best, right? So you can type your questions in the comment section. So basically, that's how we do this. Let me bring this up. Welcome to Ask Me Anything Sunday Night Show. So type your questions in the comment section. And as usual, if you're watching this as a replay, don't worry. We will still answer your question in the future AMA. So like moving up, I'm going to bring up some questions that I captured on my YouTube channel as well as my Facebook group, and I'm going to answer them. All right. So say hi. Hey, Harriet, what's up? Is this the first time we meet? Welcome into the Ask Me Anything Sunday night. Right. Thank you for joining me. And guys, questions, post them in the way. Okay. Now, let me do this. I have already put up this thing. So basically, I just want to quickly go over some of the questions that you have posted earlier. Now, this is a question from Diana. Hi, Diana from Philippines. How's things over there? I hope it's not as bad as Malaysia right now. We have so many cases every day. And, rumor says there is another lockdown coming soon. So hopefully, I don't know. This thing is not over yet. So basically, we still have to endure the situation. But anyway, a lot of businesses has to actually start moving online, and basically selling on Shopee is kind of like the thing that you should consider. Now, your question here is this. You have two questions over here, Diana. You sell products made locally in your city. Target market includes tourists that visits the city. We decide to sell them online because they can't travel right now. Cool. So if you want to target tourists that visit your city, before interested in traveling here and not showing the ads to people who live. Now, put it this way. There are a few angles to look at your question. First thing first, unless you have very solid reason to believe that your product is only catering to the people who are interested in your city but not living here. Let's say, for example, if we talk about souvenir, right? I just want to consider using another angle to think about this thing. Since we can't travel, those who live in the city may want to consider sending this product to their friends from around the world just to remind them about the good time they have in the city that you're in right now. So sometimes we kind of put too much self-limiting thoughts or mind blocks in ourselves when we are considering building our content or our so-called something. So like I have another there's another case talking about the local tourism, right? Like I work with Xander from Singapore. You see, a lot of people would think that there is no tourism, it's going to die, right? But they really work well for local kind of like tourism advertising. So consider building something for the local. Of course, there is no more tourists. I mean, technically. So if you are really banging on tourists, I think it's very difficult. You are not able to target tourists who have visited your city. If you do recently, right, like what you mentioned, people recently in this location, that is recent, and that is not happening. So your audience, I want you to start looking at different perspective in terms of building the business itself. I mean, the product can't be changed, I understand, but let's change the angle a little bit. Maybe create a demand from different perspective, like, hey, your friend can't travel here, right? So why not send them some local delights to them or local souvenirs to them to help them, to remind them about the good time they had in your city. Why not, right? So that's one angle, basically. And your second question is talking about people traveling in this location still work. But essentially, but of course, we definitely are looking at local travelers because international traveling is very much kind of like not happening at the moment. So whether these are the target audience that you want to target, then you can try. But yet again, we're talking about trying to look at the business from another angle. I mean, if you are really tourist-based kind of business, then definitely you are having a hard time. But yet again, we talk about the product itself has got many faces that we can actually try to fit them into and to see whether we can create some demand using different angle of thinking. So that's what I have for you. All right, so thanks for your question, Diana. I hope I answered your question. Now, let's move on to the next question that I get from Chua. Now, no, Chua was asking about the demographic breakdown in the custom audiences. Now, if you know, for example, when you are setting up your ads campaign, Facebook ads campaign, in the ad set level, there is these audiences where you can put in the custom audiences kind of thing, right? Now, basically, when you put in custom audiences, technically, you won't be able to see the potential reach, which is on the right-hand side, the right column. Now, this is really something that is purposely created, or Facebook purposely make it that way because they don't want you to have exactly this thing Chua is asking. Let me tell you this, back then, right, we were able to do exactly this. Let's say, for example, we capture, let's say, about 2,000 email addresses that we have captured and we import into Facebook. We probably say we match 1,000, for example, right? Then after that, we could use Facebook demographic tool to see how many of them are female, how many of them are male, how many of them are from age 25 to 44, things like that. But Facebook kind of think that this is a way that violates the privacy policy kind of like concern that a lot of people have. They remove this feature. So currently, even in terms of the custom audience size estimation inside the audiences panel, a lot of numbers are not very accurate at the moment. So no, the answer is no, Chua. You are not able to drill down anymore, to break down on the custom audience demographics anymore, because Facebook has disabled the feature. Okay, but thanks for the question, Chua. Now, next question that I have is from King. So you were saying that CPass, Shopee is going to give you CPass access. So now, we all know that CPass is what we call the collaborative ads that is given to you by Shopee or Lazada, which are all these marketplaces. Now, in order to get that, there is no direct way to get it unless you're in Thailand, where you can apply and get it very easily. But the rest of the world, as in like Philippines, Malaysia, Singapore, you need to work yourself. You work your level up to get access to all these. So basically, CPass is where Shopee will create a catalog of your product and of your entire store and share it to your Facebook ads account. Effectively, you can start running ads to retarget people who visit your store or products and did not purchase. So that's a very powerful tool if you have it, but if you don't, it is still not the end of the world. I always tell people that, look, we still need to drive traffic to your Shopee because having a store on Shopee or Lazada doesn't guarantee you any sales. So you need to work on driving traffic, and Facebook and Instagram combined is the best way to drive traffic. That's why we have a framework. We have a two-step funnel framework designed for Shopee and Lazada store. We have a course called Facebook Ads for Shopee. If you want to learn it right away, join that. But if you want to learn with me live step by step, then you can join my 6-day challenge where I will, just walk you through. I will lead you live. So you get to watch this with me live and you get to ask questions and all that. So that's the best learning experience that I can create for you. Now, basically, if you are not having a CPass, then definitely our combination of objective using the two-step funnel is traffic. But if you have CPass, you can still run traffic and catalog sales retargeting, which is possible. Or even you can use catalog as the tier 1 to really drive traffic to your store and effectively trigger the tier 2 retargeting using the catalog. But you need to design it differently. I won't be able to break it down like this, but you have to start exploring. When you have the feature, then you will understand what I mean over there. So that's what I think. King, thanks for the question. Yeah, guys, any questions, post them in the comment section, right? Once I handle this, then I will come back to the the comments that you're having, that you're giving, that you're posting. Okay, now another one from Irene. Irene is asking how to avoid wrong audiences to like our advertisement. Now, very good question. Now, a few angles, yet again, we try to dissect this question. Why are you avoiding people to like your advertisement? Maybe because you are running advertisement to get people to like your post, which is you are wrong. You are using the wrong objective fundamentally. So first way to answer this question is, if you want to avoid the wrong audience to like your advertisement, why not go for the objective that is right? Because let's give you a very simple example. When you're boosting your post, you get a lot of likes. Okay, for those who know, But when you're running a traffic campaign, you get clicks, but you get very little likes. Okay, and when you are running a lead gen campaign, you get leads, but you get very little likes, because this is how Facebook advertising objective works. The moment you choose an objective, Facebook will zoom in to the audiences that are more likely to take the action that you are looking for. So if you go for an objective like boost, which is Facebook will receive the signal that, hey, this guy wants likes and comments and shares. So they will zoom into people who are likely to like, comment, and share, which is, these are the people who actually like, comment, and share, but they don't click, but they don't submit lead. You see, it's really that distinctive. Just put yourself the other table around, just turn things around. When was the last time you shared an advertisement? When was the last time you commented on an advertisement? Because you don't do that anymore, because it's an advertisement. You don't interact with the advertisement, but when you are interested, you will quietly click and check out on their website. You will quietly click and give them your phone number and interact with them. So fundamentally, it starts from the wrong objective. So basically, that's how I will avoid the wrong audience, which is, let's start from learning how to choose the right objective and learning how to do different kind of audience targeting techniques that I will share inside my 6-day challenge. Now, guys, for those who are watching this, right, my next 6-day challenge is going to start on the 17th of May. I just wrapped up my recent one yesterday. This is really, you're entering the 13th batch right now, 13 batch. We have actually learned this with over 700 people from all around the world since September last year. This is really my best learning experience that I can offer to you and to myself as well. So if you are serious about growing your Facebook ads campaign and getting better ROI, you want to learn the right way to do all this, because I've been doing this since 2010, right? 11 odd years doing this, tens of millions of Facebook ad spends managed, and I think I know a little bit more than you, which I think could be valuable for you to learn. So join my 6-day challenge. You can go to my website, tribeupacademy.com, and look for 6-day challenge, and you'll be able to find that, right? Now, so that's how we answer this question. Irene, thank you for the question. And we have another question from Chua, which is, you want to target people who have seen your ads, the people reach, okay, when creating a new campaign? The answer is yes, but you need to learn, the framework a little bit. Now, basically, if you are running an advertisement, it's how you design. Like, for example, our 2-step funnel framework, we used, we use video as our tier 1. Why? Because video is one of the silent qualifier that we can use to qualify our audiences by time spent on the creative itself. Okay? Because let's say, for example, I'm having this maybe 30 seconds video. If you watch up to 10 seconds or 15 seconds, does that mean something to you? Because for example, we have that short attention span on Facebook and Instagram, right? So if you're not interested in anything at all, we won't pay attention on it. But if we do pay attention for that amount of time, that means intent. That's why we want to use that to capture audiences, true? And that's one of the audience qualifier that we use. In fact, when it comes to our 2-step funnel framework, there are different ways of qualifying our audiences, like, a lead form could be. And then, of course, we have, instant experience, website visits. There are many things. We're going to cover all these in the 6-day challenge, and I really look forward to learn with you. If you can, join me in the next one. It's awesome. To me, I really love the learning that I get with you guys. But basically, we have more than 90% approval rate that people will recommend to their friends. Join me. Okay? Thanks for the question, Chua. I hope I answered your question. Next, we have King. You want to target all people from Philippines that currently live in Thailand. How do you target them? What do I do is that you just change language. That's one thing. Because language targeting is basically targeting people that Facebook believe that you understand the question, the language. All right. So basically, that's the thing that you can find your audiences, definitely, and then after that you zoom in by location. But of course, there are many other ways. Okay, one of the most effective way to do this is to actually by location. You can actually zoom in to the places where more of your peers are actually staying or gathering. So that could be a way. But essentially, my next question would be, why do you want to drill yourself down to that niche of audiences? Because you're talking about Filipinos in Thailand. That could be very, very little people. Because what I understand from you is you're selling something of, let's say, Filipino snacks. Now, when it comes to that scenario, what I would argue here is this, in a way, you're limiting yourself because you believe that only Filipinos might want to buy this, but you're not thinking, why not just expand a little bit and test the audience out there? Why? Because there could be other people who might want to try, If you have it, then why not you just tell them that, hey, this is a very local delight, and you probably want to check it out. Like we have a friend, right? Alex from Thailand as well. Now, this dude sells Korean tteokbokki in Thailand, in Shopee and Lazada. He's doing good. He's doing good. I mean, because if you are limiting that only Korean will want to eat Korean tteokbokki, then your market is very small. So just try to expand to see whether you're able to achieve different outcome from that. Okay. Now, yeah, thanks for the question, King. Thank you. Then we have another question from, I don't know, WeSam. Just call you WeSam. So, okay, you're saying that you're new to Facebook ads. Welcome to the crazy world of Facebook advertising. And on Facebook Business Manager, okay, so you want to test as many audiences as you can to see which one performs better, okay, but you do not know how to get the 50 conversions in the next 7 days. You have 2 ad sets are in the learning. I don't know how to exit this learning phase. What can I do here? Okay, now, exactly what I argue. You see, my first question to you here is, what are you trying to prove to run as many audiences as possible? Now, if you're trying to prove keywords or so-called keyword, in your term, you call them keyword. In my term, I call them detailed targeting. Now, if you're trying to prove which detailed targeting works better, then in fact, it may not be identical. You know why? First thing first, let's give you an example. People who like Gucci and people who like Prada, let's say if you use these 2 things as the detailed targeting. So if you people who are in Gucci and Prada may be overlapping. So when you're actually testing 2 ad sets running 2 different audiences or so-called 2 detailed targeting, you cannot guarantee that you're different sets of people. People might be seeing 2 ads at the same time. So when you're seeing 2 ads at the same time, it's not meaningful anymore when you're testing this. Now, when you're testing this, right, I would say you can if you have a very big budget. So if you're only spending, let's say, a dollar a day, which is US dollar a day, I mean, definitely you won't be able to exit learning, because exit learning, as you already know, you need 50 conversions in the 7 days. Now, if you're not spending good enough into an ad set, how do you get 50 in 7 days? It's a chicken and egg situation. So in my opinion, very simple. If you're not having a big budget, let's ditch away the idea of testing the detailed targeting so-called audiences that you are having right now. Instead, focus on getting a campaign that works. You get what I mean? A lot of people try too hard on proving which audience works, but in my opinion, I only have one thing to prove. I want to prove my campaign works. I want to find a way to get better ROI for my campaign, and I want to exit learning. I want to get a stabilized campaign. I want to do better in my campaign. I want to make more money from my ad spend. That's my concern, not to prove which detailed targeting works better. I think in a way we put our focus in the wrong place. That's what I argue. But nonetheless, that's what I think. In order to exit learning, you got to spend enough to get enough conversion to exit learning within a period. So that's the only way. So if you're testing it too many, let's group the budget together. That's what I think. And you have a better chance of exiting the learning. So that's what I think. But thanks for the question, Sam. All right, then we have another question from now, when we do tier 1 marketing, when we are running the 2-step funnel framework, which I'm going to cover in my 2-step, my 6-day challenge, basically we break our campaign into 2. As in, not to say 2, we run 2 ads simultaneously. Now, essentially, the tier 1 ad is the one that target the fresh audiences, and the tier 2 ad is to retarget those people who have taken action, which is being qualified by your audience qualifiers. Now, when it comes to tier 1, when we teach this, of course, I'm going to tell you that there is 1 tier 1, 1 tier 2. Well, effectively, if you understand the framework, you can build a more extensive campaign. So, Irene's question is, if you are looking at, you want to build multiple tier 1, targeting different locations to see which location works better. That's what I understand. I would say, yes, it is actually possible. Okay, so if you are doing something like, one city, maybe Kuala Lumpur, and the other one is Penang, for example, you want to see which audience or which location gives you better result at a lower cost, then you can. But if you're only testing, let's say, a very nearby location and you're just putting plots and they overlap, then it's not meaningful. So if you want to test location using your multiple tier 1 strategy, you want to make sure that when you're actually, let's say if you're dropping pins, right, because you're selling property, as I understand, try not to overlap them, because when you overlap, then you have the chance of, people may see 2 ads at the same time. So it's not identical anymore. So in that case, if you want to test this, make sure you break them. So like what we do is we go by states. That is correct. So 1 Penang, one Johor, 1 KL, for example. So that is very clear. But if you're doing the plot things, make sure you don't overlap. That's what I think. Okay. Now, thanks for the question, Irene. Now, next we have one from Halbert. So you have a question about audience demographic interests and behaviors. Is it okay to add more demographic interests and behavior as long as it's related to the product? I would say yes, okay, because the idea here is like what I mentioned just now, right? When it comes to detailed targeting, this is really something that is just for you to find people who might be interested in that particular keyword. Let's say, for example, Gucci and Prada, right? You know, people who like Gucci may like Prada at the same time because these are just two luxury brands, right? Correct. So when you're doing this, you can actually stack them, but we also try to limit ourselves, refrain ourselves from stacking too many, because when you stack too many into detailed targeting, it's kind of like meaningless. So we have a mechanism. So let me break it down to you. Our audience size, first, we actually limit ourselves from the perspective of the audience size. So let's say, for example, if you try to reach maybe 10% of our total population, I mean, Facebook users, let's say, for example, in Malaysia, we have 26 million Facebook users. So we are trying to hit maybe 2.6 million, for example. So if that's the threshold, when we stack up, we will see whether are we reaching to the threshold. That's one of the way to do this. So usually we don't use too many. In fact, I will not be able to just put it up to the number, let's face on. But in my opinion, I'll try to limit within 10 if I can. But of course, we have another technique that I will be teaching during the 6-day challenge, which is the narrow detail, which effectively is going to help you drill down to the people who are more likely using a combination of detailed targeting settings. So that is possible. All right, so I will agree to Herbert if you want to stacks, but don't overstack. I mean, that's what I think. Okay. Now, yep, that's all the questions that I received from you guys. Thank you so much for asking the question. Remember, right, if you're watching this as a replay or live or whatnot, feel free to post your questions anyway, because we're just going to build this thing together, right? So that's how the whole thing, we're going to do this. Okay, so if you have questions, post away, and I will answer them in the future AMA. We do this every Sunday night. So if you like to learn Facebook ads together with me, make sure you tune in every Sunday night. That's what we're going to do. So we already have a few questions coming in from here. Now, first we have from Harrod. You have enrolled to the 6-day challenge, but you did not receive which group to join. Don't worry, I'll get my team to be in touch. Okay, but thanks for signing up. I look forward to see you on the 17th of May, yeah, which is about 2 weeks down, 3 weeks down. Anyway, yeah, see you very soon. Thank you for joining, Harrod. Now, the other question here we have from Thomas. Okay, which tool do I use to build funnels? You see, ClickFunnels is a bit pricey. Yeah, oh, okay, I think we learned together before, right? I use WordPress. I'm a WordPress person. I've been building WordPress website with my team for many years now. So we use WordPress to build the funnel. I mean, fundamentally, ClickFunnels and all that, this is just a system for you to host your buying process. I would say there are many other tools out there that can do the same thing. But of course, ClickFunnels, they made it in a way that is so easy to adopt or so easy to customize that a lot of so-called non-technical people can use them on a very easy way. But essentially, just want to say that basically there are many ways. And in fact, I was just talking to my friend Chun Yen yesterday. There are many ways to build funnel. Sometimes, right, you may not need to have a so-called a web funnel to do whatever funnel that you're trying to build. Because when it comes to selling, there are many ways to sell. You can actually do a phone call funnel, which is Chun Yen is really good at, all right? And there are many ways to do funnel. I mean, web funnel is just one way. But basically, we just want to test a different kind of framework over here. But if you ask me, I use WordPress. Okay? And yep. And we have Chun Yen here. What's up, man? So Chun Yen is asking, what are my thoughts on high-ticket offers? Now, when it comes to high-ticket offers, I would say building the value ladder is very important. But essentially, we also want to look at whether the high-value offer does press enough on the pain point that creates value among the audiences. But of course, there are many ways. Like, for example, we do have high-value offers, but we only sell to people who have been warm enough after going through certain value ladders. So if you want to build web value ladders, what I do, we start from, even some free so-called lead magnets that we go through, and then we will come to, then we have some paid one, build up the value to a certain extent. Then, after they've gone through certain thing with us, then we only offer them. So segmentization is very important. You need to go to the right people to speak of the right thing. But of course, we all know that coming from Chun Yen's perspective, you are very good at doing this high value offer at the calling. In fact, just relate back to my perspective, right? As an agency for the past many years, I have been selling high value offer, but it's a different thing because we go through different kind of so-called processes when we are doing an agency work. I think Jane can relate. They involve pitching and all that, but of course, high ticket offer is really the thing that everybody must learn, because definitely we want to be able to get the best value for whatever that we are offering, right? So that's the thing that we want to do, right? So I would definitely think that building high value offer is a must do for either you are a coach, either you are a consultant, either you are a trainer, either you are a business owner. I mean, we cannot keep selling the low value offer all the time. You must have a balance, but you need to build a value ladder. I think that's a very important thing. And the process, I think that's a lot of people are kind of lack of. Okay, and Jean's question is, what are the favorite plugins to build my WooCommerce funnel? What do I use? I use Woo Funnel. It's a paid one. Okay, not cheap, but worth the money. Totally. I think Woo Funnel, right? Yeah, I think Woo Funnel. You can actually check them out. Okay, iOS, at the moment, I don't see much trouble, to be frank. Because if you set up AEM and everything right, Facebook was already start aggregating. Because when it comes to aggregating, they say that some may not be reported live and real time, but they aggregate them. That's the reason why they built this AEM. I forgot what was the thing already, but you can go and research about the AEM. It's kind of like the solution that Facebook is having to actually kind of at least salvage certain number or certain data back for your campaign. But fundamentally, on my end, I'm not seeing a very significant fluctuation on my end. I'm not sure about you guys, but on my end, I don't. Okay, and okay, now next we have another question. Chun Yen is asking, what do you think about Shopee and e-commerce sellers? Is high ticket offer suitable? I think yes. I mean, there are many ways of building this. You see, high value ticket offer for Shopee and e-commerce sellers. It depends on what are you selling. Like selling a product could lead to something like a subscription. Selling, but it depends on how one want to design the so-called the project. And basically, it depends on how you want to strategize your whole business framework. Like what we actually understand here is, a lot of times, a lot of business actually spend too much time drilling on the product itself, because a lot of people kind of like this, especially e-commerce sellers. When one thing is not selling, they start looking at other product. They start looking at other things, but they never look at the whole value creation throughout the whole thing over here. Like, let's give an example. Like, one of the e-commerce exercise that I'm kind of like get involved in is for my girlfriend. We are selling this kind of device. Beauty device is kind of a thing where people, I mean, if you only sell the beauty device at the get-go, if you're having this selling mindset, then of course you'll be looking at the sale. Whether am I getting the sale? If on the sale itself, if I spend money and I'm not getting the money that I should be, I should get back in order to cover my cost, then it doesn't make sense. But in my opinion, the value created from this sale is not just at the moment, it's about the future. If you look at this, right, when they like this device, if they do it good enough, they will start buying from you more like other devices or the refill of the product or anything more on that. There are many things. If you are selling something, what I'm always advocating here is this, we want to drill deep on the business that we are in instead of reacting. You get what I mean? A lot of businesses actually simply react. When it's not working, let's look for another product. Let's look for the next product. But essentially, they forgot that what kind of thing that they can create for long term. I mean, let's put it this way. For my case, many years ago, if I just go like other agencies, when Facebook is in thing, then I teach Facebook. Then after that, when Instagram is in thing, I teach Instagram, and I go and learn a bit about Google. Then then basically I don't have a positioning. Then I won't be able to actually kind of like offer the kind of, let's say, high ticket offer. We'll talk about the high ticket offer. When I don't have the depth that you don't believe in my experience or my credibility enough in this thing, I'm not able to build a high ticket offer. So if you ask me back to the question, Shopee, e-commerce sellers and all that, they can still create high value offer. But we have to actually look deeper into the business itself and see whether we can create something out of that. So that's what I think. But thanks for the question, Chun Yen. And yeah, okay, my WordPress course teach about building funnel. My WordPress course at the moment, I don't teach about building funnel. But if you're interested, let's see how many shows of hand. Anyone wants to learn my way of building my funnel at the moment, how I use ClickFunnels, how I build my funnel, how I build my system. Because, okay, touch base a little bit. We're going to launch a course that talks about this thing where my 6-day challenge, although you all know that it start at that low ticket price. Up to now, it's only $19 to join my 6-day challenge. But 6-day challenge is actually a 6-figure funnel. Only about 5 to 6 months since we started in September, it has reached 6-figure funnel. Actually, in 5 to 6 months time, so you can actually achieve a 6-figure funnel, web funnel, like what we built in the 6-day challenge. But what is important here is you need to have a combination of the value ladder, as in like how do you bring people in, how do you nurture them, and how do you actually start selling them the high ticket offer. You need to have a balance, a combination of both. That's what I think as a funnel, or rather we call it the business framework. I think that's a very important thing for a lot of businesses. So show of hand, we have Harrod have a show of hand. Who else want to learn how I do this thing? I think that's a very interesting, how I built 6DC into a so-called 6-figure funnel in less than 6 months time. So that's the thing that I think I'm quite keen to start talking about, you know, in my future sessions. And I would like to build a course about this. If you guys are interested, you know, that will be something very interesting to actually look into. Hey, Thomas, okay, now I have you. So yeah, that's what I plan to do. Basically, yes, if I do that, but guys, make sure you check my email. Are you guys all in my email list, just to make sure? Because if I do anything, I will be announcing in my email, via email. You guys will get all the emails and all that, basically, just to make sure that you actually pay attention to that and come and join me whenever you can, right? Next week, just a quick shout out before we end this, but thanks for spending time with me. Next week, we have Xander teaching about Canva. So if you guys wants to learn how to be a super pro designer, even without design skill, using Canva to design crazy, awesome creatives for your Facebook ads, go check your email from me about this and then enroll into that. We're going to start on, it's a 3-day course. Xander is going to teach live on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 3 days at 3 p.m. So we start at 27, but if you're my JIC or FAA member, you actually get tremendous discount. Just check out your email. And after that, following week, we're going to roll out what's going to happen in the following week, because you just have to take a look at this. Every month, on top of my 1 to 2 sessions of 6-day challenge, I would definitely have another 1 or 2 sessions of, you know, so we call this expert live training from my friends, and I will be doing something from time to time. So you want to pay attention to all this. It's all being communicated via email. So if you're not in my email list, go to my website, scroll down to the footer. There are 3 free courses. Just sign up to any one of them, then you'll be in my email list. And make sure you bloody whitelist my email. You don't whitelist my email, I go into spam, then we adios. We see each other no more. So you guys just have to all go on that. Harold, you just enroll for Canva. Welcome. I'll see you on Tuesday soon. All right. Right, I enjoyed this. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me. Thank you. Harold was saying you'll not be able to attend because of work. Doesn't matter. The replay will be kept inside the Facebook group, so you can watch it at night. Doesn't matter. Okay, so I look forward to see you on Tuesday. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Jean. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you, Harold and Chunyan. And for those who are joining me at the moment, yep, I look forward to see you on Monday. I got too many live sessions. I always confused about the dates. Now, for this Ask Me Anything Sunday night, it happens every Sunday night at 10, and we will go live for half an hour to do this, right? So that's all that we have for this round. Thank you so much, guys, and see you next week. Have a good weekend and have a great week ahead. That's a must thing. So regardless whether we have the lockdown or not, right? Life goes on, guys. Let's do this. See you next week. Bye.